I started sex work because I needed money, like everybody else in the world. I would have to say that being part of the sex worker rights movement and the struggle to fight for our rights is far more stressful than sex work in general. We're forced to act like criminals, even if we're technically not. So in Ireland, we have the Swedish model. The way that I work is technically legal. I sell sex indoors and alone, which is the only way that it's legal. But because my clients are criminalized, because working with a friend would be illegal, because hiring anybody for security or to manage my bookings, because of any of these things are illegal, even advertising is illegal, we're forced to interact with society and with everybody around us like we ourselves are criminals.
I see a lot more abuse these days. I don't see any positive change. I feel that generally the Nordic model brought fear to sex workers and entitlement to men. Because even though they say the clients will be punished, they never are. We are the only ones who suffer the real consequences. Abusive men are everywhere, but they target us because we are easy to target. Because we don't have protection, because we can't go to the police, and they know that. They know that if they do anything to us, if they actually, steal from us, and if they want to rape us, if anything, if we are migrants, you're better off just taking that than going to the police.
Last year, a man called me, and I was feeling really upset. But I didn't have the choice. That was the only call I had for the week. So he came, and in fact, just came to rob my money. And because I didn't have any money, he actually beat me and raped me. That was the first time I had this kind of problem since I've been working. And that is because of the law. So this law is really putting us at risk. And I've seen so often now colleagues who speak about this kind of problem. We never had that before, never. And now we're just trying to survive.
1, 2, 3, 4! At Sex Workers Alliance Ireland, we're fighting for full decriminalization. We're fighting against stigma. We're fighting for people to acknowledge that we are workers who deserve rights like any other worker. Particularly because our work is precarious, particularly because the people often that end up in sex work are already on the margins.
I want to see this community and these people winning for once, and see sex work completely decriminalized, and see that we have the support of the law for once, the support of the police.
Sex workers are people, and we have full lives, and we have children that we are feeding, and we have schools that we are putting ourselves through. We have rent that we are paying. People need to listen to sex workers and take direction from us about our lives.